Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EJG3 show. This is your host, Eddie Gelger. Today, we have Billy Fisher, and we are going to be talking about the NFL schedule release.
Eddie, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been counting down the days till my first appearance on the EJG3 show. I'm excited to talk football. It's a great day to have a day.
Absolutely. Today is an exciting day. We finally know when each team will be playing. Uh, so let's dive right into it. All right. So, Monday, the NFL announced that the Cowboys will be facing the Eagles. Home opening day. Billy, I got to tell you, I'm not excited for this game at all. I think the NFL made a bad decision.
I agree with you in the second part of that statement. I am so excited. Watching the Cowboys get clowned on national television is a tradition like no other. I look forward to it like no other to watch Jerry Jones make mindless decisions all off season and then have it all just fall right in front of his face and just look terrible. Now, is it the best matchup that the reigning Super Bowl champions could have had week one? No. I think that would have been their division rival, the Washington Commanders, who are more a challenge to the NFC East crown than the Cowboys.
Yeah, you had Washington. You could have had uh, the Rams with Devontae Adams making his debut.
Mm.
I think what the NFL is doing is saying, okay, let's just get the Cowboys early on national TV. Because, Billy, I got to tell you right now, they're not going to have a good season.
They don't have the depth anymore. They've lost they still have all the names. You can go and name off and you can say the Cowboys look beautiful. The fact of the matter is their offensive line is depleted from where it was years ago. Zach Martin has moved on. Tyron Smith has moved on. It's an aging roster that's trying to get young too fast right now, and they're just not ready to compete at this point.
Yeah, the story's going to be about the Cowboys no matter what. Win or loss.
It
And
always is.
obviously, I'm not in love with their new head coach. He's very unproven. Dak is not an exciting quarterback. This game just kind of feels bland, and that's why I'm so disappointed.
And it's like every situation the Cowboys have, whether it's the situation with Mike McCarthy at the end of the year last year, Micah Parsons getting paid right now, they horribly mismanage all of these relationships with their players that just end up ending sour. Like the Mike McCarthy exit last year was just so awkward towards the end. Like every week it would lead ESPN's top segment. Oh, what's gonna happen with Mike McCarthy? I don't know. Let's see how Jerry messes this one up this time. And then, oh, what does he find? Brian Schottenheimer, a guy already in the building, even though he had way better options everywhere else.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the line is Eagles -7 right now. If I was better, which I am, I'm betting Eagles -7.
Oh, that's that's an easy line to take, especially Eagles at home, Eagles fully healthy as well. Dak coming off an injury is his first game back. I mean, that's just a I think we know what all the betting public's going to be on. But is that what should swing us back the other way?
We last year we had such an exciting matchup, Chiefs versus Ravens. I was so captivated with
It
that
was
matchup because
amazing.
obviously the storyline was Lamar and
No.
can he beat the Chiefs? You know, I already know what the storyline is for this game. It's the
How much
same
are the Cowboys
storyline.
going to lose by?
It's the same storyline every single year with the Cowboys. And you know what? They're not going to be good. Period. Point blank.
Okay. You take a step back though. Look at this. Look at the talent they have outside. They do have CeeDee Lamb who can move around anywhere. He can play from the slot, he can play out wide. And then they have George Pickens who's just pretty much just if he catches a go ball, it's great. If not, well, he's just going to get mad the whole game and just tackle someone by their face mask by the end of it.
I mean, look, both teams have good wide receivers. C.D. Lamb, George Pickens. We got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But they don't have Saquon Barkley. I think that's
And that offensive line, mind you, too.
yeah, no. I mean, here's my interesting here's an interesting question. Is Jalen Hurts a top five quarterback right now? Is he?
Without
Is
the
he?
talent he has around him, no. But the way that he runs that offense, especially with his dual threat ability, yeah, you could look at him as a top five quarterback. I think he fits that Eagles offense better than most quarterbacks, if not all but the three of Josh, Lamar, and Mahomes. Just because of that dual threat, because they already have arguably the best back in the league. They have arguably the best O line. And with all he adds in the running game, he's the perfect fit for that offense.
I think. I think Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in his own division. I think Jaden Daniels.
I think most people would agree with you that as well. Except for Eagles fans will just go bang, ring, ring, ring.
Yeah, I just don't buy that. Okay, so let's move on. Chiefs Chargers Brazil game. I gotta tell you, it's one of my favorite games week one, and I'll tell you why. It's all on Justin Herbert. The pressure's on him. I said last year the most pressure quarterback is Justin Herbert, not to win a championship, but just to prove something. Billy, he needs to win a playoff game. He needs to prove that he can beat good teams.
Okay, so Jim Harbaugh, in his second year as head coach for the 49ers and Michigan, he took a losing team and turned them into a winning team. Jim Harbaugh has historically turned, and Stanford, he has historically turned programs around after that first rebuilding year, and he just turns them into a powerhouse that second year. I am a believer in this Chargers team, not only because of Justin Herbert, but because of that running back room they have now. They picked up Najee Harris, who is arguably a great back. He's not top 10, but he's
He's a
fringe.
good running back. I mean,
He'll get you a thousand
The
yards a
Steelers don't
year.
know offense.
Yeah, the Steelers the Steelers just love. Here's the Steelers game plan every game. First down, second down, run the ball up the middle for 2 yards each. Third down, pass down the sideline for a deep ball. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then just play good defense and make a big play. But
Exactly.
even outside of that, Najee Harris is a good back. And then they drafted out of UNC Omarion Hampton, who many were debating as the number two back after Genty, but he went pretty late. But I still think that's a great team. They've rebuilt that offensive line with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater too as well. And that team is looking solid. And I think the Chiefs are regressing. The Chiefs had to pay people this offseason, and they're only getting older at this point, and all their cornerstones are the older guys and Chris Jones and Travis Kelce.
Oh, I agree. I mean they look so bad for the Eagles. Um, and that's why I say Justin Herbert has the most pressure, in that game. Because right now, hot take, I had the Chargers winning the division.
I completely agree with that, honestly. The Chargers, they're playing a second place schedule as well, so they don't have to play the Bills, Texans, or Ravens. They get to play the second place teams in every division, so their schedule is just naturally easier.
And
And I
plus
just think they're just starting to develop more talent on their roster than the Chiefs have.
and
Now, am I
plus
going to be wrong? Yes, the Chiefs are going to win the division. But I believe in the Chargers for the second year in a row. And I don't really know why. I don't know why I think Justin Herbert is good. Because every time he gets in a playoff game, he lays an egg, and it's just like, well, what did you really expect? But I'm back to I'm a her believer. I'm a her believer.
absolutely. I mean, I just think he needs to win that game.
He's
I'm
got to
sorry he
get that
does.
playoff win.
And you know what? The Chargers, they don't have a home field advantage, so you know, hopefully Brazil will
Yeah,
help them.
hopefully the boys come out.
Exactly,
Probably not.
exactly. Um, but man, if the Chargers can win that game, there is a lot of momentum.
It definitely is a lot of momentum headed in the right direction. And I think they can win that division. They won't,
No,
but I think
absolutely,
they will.
absolutely. Okay, I want to talk about the Thanksgiving games. Uh, Billy, this is a great slate. You got the Packers, Lions, Chiefs versus Cowboys, and then Bengals versus Ravens. I mean, Packers versus Lions. I think Packers could be fighting for a wild card spot. I think Lions still win that division, but Jordan Love is a good average quarterback, and the Lions, we'll see. I mean, they just lost Ben Johnson. They just lost their defensive coordinator Glenn. I think the Lions have good depth. I think they'll still win that division. But man, there's a lot of good teams in the NFC North, and I think that could be battling maybe for the division. Who knows?
I think it really will be. I think the Packers are a young team. They're ascending. They finally drafted a receiver. What was his name? Matthew Golden out of Texas, right?
Yeah.
They finally got a receiver. I mean, they had a plethora of wide receiver twos. They had more wide receiver twos than anyone in the league.
I mean, Watson, he's injury prone.
Yeah, every year. Wicks is pretty solid too. Reed is probably the best guy out of the group. And then they have the great tight end. What's his name again? Is it? No, it's not Tanyan, is it? Robert Tanyan?
Something like that.
So whatever his name is, who cares? He's a good player. And the Packers are a good ascending young team.
And 2 years ago, uh, Packers they absolutely crushed the Lions on Thanksgiving.
And that game I couldn't believe because it was right when the Lions were making their meteoric rise that season after they started the season slow, but then Dan Campbell steered the ship right. He flipped the whole culture and they stormed their way to the NFC Championship game before they choked up 10 against the 49ers.
And then the next game we got Chiefs versus Cowboys. I think last year the Cowboys played versus Giants, and that was a snooze fest. So I'm glad that the NFL had a good opponent during that slate.
That game
Yeah,
was so bad I started watching basketball and I don't even care about basketball till it's playoffs.
exactly. I mean, look, like we talked about earlier, uh, I think Chiefs will definitely be fighting for a wild card spot, or maybe winning or fighting for the division. Um, and then you got Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson, which we
Love
know Bengals always start slow. Uh, and last year, but back to back good games. Um,
Those games were
Bengals
cinema
probably,
last year. The first one OT, the second one Lamar game-winning drive. Those games were just amazing. And the numbers from that game too. Like
yeah,
Jamar, I
that's
think, didn't Jamar have 202 in both games?
yeah, I think so. I mean that's going to be a shootout. Um, and the Bengals are starting against the Browns, so I know, but the Browns had Joe Burrow's number.
They do have Joe Burrow's number. The Browns play team. The Browns, for as bad as they are the worst team that plays everybody pretty good. Like that defense is solid. Every year that defense is top half of the league. Usually top 10 if they have a functional quarterback to not put them in bad situations the whole game. But I don't even know what is Eddie, what do you think? What is Cleveland doing at quarterback? Because they got five guys, but none of them are particularly
I know
good.
I don't think Dylan Gabriel. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be your backup quarterback.
I think Dylan
I think they'll
Gabriel is a
start Joe
lesser
Flacco,
version of
but
Tua. I think he's a point guard, he's a distributor type of quarterback, but can he create with his legs at the next level? No, I don't think he has that athletic upside.
okay. So we know the Bengals struggle beginning of the season, but they start off with at Cleveland, home versus Jacksonville, at Minnesota, and at Denver. So remember they beat Denver, I think in overtime in Denver.
Mhm.
Uh, Billy, they gotta start 3-1.
I think they're going to start 3-1. I think that week one Cleveland game, it'll probably an ugly AFC North game, as they usually are. The AFC North games are usually just rock fights where they just beat the crap out of each other and it's low scoring. Unless it's Ravens Bengals, then it's a million to a million. See whoever has the ball last wins. That Jaguars game though, that intrigues me because the Bengals defense is not the best, and neither is the Jags. But for some reason, I am still a believer in Trevor Lawrence. I still think this guy can be elite in this league, and I don't know why. It's another one of my horrible takes, like the Chargers winning. I just believe it.
I I'm out on Trevor Lawrence.
But that playoff year, he looked
I
pretty
know, I
good.
know he had
That
one
Chargers
good playoff
playoff
game. Look,
game.
I get it. He had some injuries. I think this is more about the Jaguars, not him. But um, look, I just we know for a fact Trevor Lawrence does not love the game like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, uh, Patrick Mahomes. He just doesn't add that love. Um,
Do you think that's more of a function of success early on because he won a natty as a true freshman?
no,
He's
I think
already
Jag.
heralded as the best quarterback prospect since Luck.
No, I just think the Jaguars are the Jaguars. They're just a bad organization.
But the Bills were the Bills. But now we're the
I
Bills.
know, but the Bills they're a better organization than the Jaguars. The Jaguars they've always been top five draft pick in the last couple of years, and you can never figure it out.
Yeah, it's like you blink your eyes and it's 2026 and oh, Jaguars are in the top five again. Who are they going to take? This guy will help Trevor Lawrence. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, and look, no, I'm just fascinated. Finally, we have a good slate of Thanksgiving games. Because these last couple of years, they've just been
They've
kind of
been
poo
poor.
poo in my mind.
Mm.
Um, okay, so let's go to the Christmas games. Uh, Cowboys at Commanders. I don't love that. It seems
Cowboys
like the
lose,
Cowboys
don't
and the
care.
Chiefs.
It'll make me happy. It's the
It,
same thing with the
it's kind of
Thanksgiving
seeming
game.
like it's Cowboys and Chiefs. They're gonna take over Christmas games. Well, definitely Chiefs because this will be their third straight year.
The
Um,
Cowboys Chiefs Thanksgiving game, I hate it. I hate both those teams. Whoever wins, I'm just not going to be happy at the end of that game.
um, but Lions at Vikings. We'll, we'll see about McCarthy this year. I'm fascinated about him. I think he's the most interesting quarterback going into the season. Uh,
And they really rebuilt that roster too, because if you remember towards the end of the year, their offensive line was a concern in that Week 18 game against the Lions. The Lions were running straight at Sam Darnold every game. And then again against the Rams, Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk were just running wild on Sam Darnold. He was seeing ghosts again. Woo!
yeah, no, for sure.
But that Lions team, I mean, great roster. I think a very underrated signing of the offseason is when they signed cornerback DJ Reed from the Jets. Every game we played the Jets, I was very nervous just because of those two outside corners they had in Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. It really made the Bills have to work the middle of the field, which ended up working out, but it's still it's a daunting task throwing against that guy. And now it's going to be Terry and Arnold and him out wide. So the Lions are improving their defense, which was their weakness last year. And the only things they really lost on offense was the best mind in football, maybe Ben Johnson.
Are you shocked that the Vikings Seahawks game is not on prime time? It's November 30th at a 4 o'clock start.
Come on. Let's do a little flex. Let's flex NFL. Flex that thing to prime time.
No,
I would
I'm
put
surprised.
all
I'm surprised
rivalry
that's not like
games.
a Thursday night football game.
You would want it to be Thursday night?
Yes,
I wouldn't mind that game in any prime time slot because I think the storyline behind it warrants it being in a prime time slot.
and
Just
I'm
because it's
surprised it's
Sam Darnold's return and it's him versus JJ because that's ultimately the decision the Vikings made in the end.
I'm surprised it's late in the season too. I thought it would be earlier. Um, because I'm not totally sold on Sam Darnold. I think he just had a great team. With when he was on the Vikings. I don't know. I wish that game was a lot earlier, like maybe third week or something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no. Look, I'm not high on Sam Darnold. I'm not high on the Vikings this year. I think it's not. I just think McCarthy. He was just an average quarterback in Michigan. He wasn't anything special.
They didn't ask him to be anything special though. They ran the ball like no other with Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum. That offense was designed to run the ball. So JJ never really looked that special, but he made plays when he needed to. In that Washington National Championship game, JJ McCarthy was making countless plays. He was getting out of the pocket. He was making throws across his body on the run. He looked like a legit NFL quarterback that game. Whether it'll transfer to the NFL, I don't know. I don't really think so. I think he'll have flashy games with good stat lines just because of what they have on offense and who their coach is. But are they going to be a real threat to the Lions in that division to win? No. I think that division is Lions head and shoulders above the rest almost, and Packers nipping at their heels if the Packers can take that next step as a young team.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so let's Eagles versus the Chiefs. Week 2 Super Bowl rematch in Kansas City on Fox. Look, a lot of times the NFL would like these rematch games middle of the season. I'm kind of glad it's early.
I'm kind of glad it's early too. Get the good games out of the way early sometimes. Give us a great week two matchup because week two is kind of I'm pretty sure it's a little plain other than that. And let the Chiefs really see what they are or show what they are. Because that Super Bowl, yes, they got their butts handed to them. They did not play good at all. I think any Chiefs player would say that. It was very reminiscent of the Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl. But I think when Patrick Mahomes has his back against the wall, he shows up time and time again, and I think that'll be almost like a reverse of how it was in the Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch a few years ago. I think that the losing team will win the rematch again this next year.
Okay,
I'm taking the Chiefs week two, and I hate it. I'm the number one Chiefs hater, but I'm also the number one Chiefs believer because I've seen the same story time and time again, and you know the greats are gonna get theirs.
yeah, no, I hear you. I think the Chiefs. I'm fascinated what their season's gonna look like.
And
Okay,
really, a lot of their problems were wide receiver. They get Rashee Rice back. That's a big help.
I
They
mean,
get Marquise
Pacheco
Brown
was
fully
hurt most of the
healthy
year.
again. Huh?
Pacheco was hurt most of the year.
Pacheco is hurt as well. I don't know if Kareem Hunt's coming back. Doesn't really matter. Pacheco will be fine. Travis Kelce's old, but Travis Kelce's old. He still out-received every single Bills player last year. It's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, if you look at the target share, fine. We weren't even probably half of his. But still, the fact of the matter is, Travis Kelce can still get it done. I think he takes another step back this year, but I think he's still an 800-yard receiver, 150-ish targets.
Yeah, sure.
Because
Um,
it's
o-
similar with Shakir in Buffalo. He is so good with Mahomes on the scramble drill. Him and Mahomes, they have a telepathic connection. They can always find each other in the spots, the soft spots of the defense. And that's just what they've made a killing of for all of Mahomes' career.
okay. So let's go to our favorite team, the Buffalo Bills.
Hey,
Hey, let's go Buffalo.
let's
Okay.
go, Buffalo.
They start with the Ravens Sunday Night Football. Look, that is a tough game.
That is a very tough game.
That is a tough game. But here's the bright side. You get to prepare versus Lamar early, and you have long periods of time. We know it's harder uh stop Lamar when you have a short week. Like we did last year. Uh, we had a Monday night game, and then we got absolutely blown out uh by the Ravens. But we also didn't have Bernard and Milano there, so I mean, you gotta have
Or
your healthy
Shakir.
linebackers. Uh, but look, I mean, right now the spread is Buffalo -2. Josh Allen does not play great versus the Ravens. He struggles. I mean, the Ravens do have a good defense. Rematch of the divisional round. I mean, look, we know it's going to be really wild in Buffalo. Man, it's a tough game. I love that we're facing a good team? Yes. Will that be a win? I don't think so.
I'd have to agree with you on that. I think it's the Bills. A great measuring stick game because the Bills' weakness, as everyone knows, is that run defense. Now, the Bills acquired Deion Walker in the fourth round from Kentucky, who is 6'8" and moves like a point guard. And then they got Grover Stewart from South Carolina in the second round at D tackle, and then Landon Jackson from Arkansas in the third round at D end. So the
Now,
Bills completely rebuilt that D line. They added Joey Bosa as well, Larry Ogunjobi, and they've rebuilt that defense. Now, will it come to fruition? Brandon Beane's idea of this dominant big defensive line, like I think they're all 300 pounders except for Joey Bosa at this point. So it's a big, big defensive line. Now, can it stand up to the number one rushing attack in King Henry and Lamar Jackson? To be determined week one. I mean, I think that's a game that the Bills should take very personally and very much understand the situation that you weren't a good run defense last year. Derrick Henry ran all over you in both the week two game or the week three game and the playoff game. Derrick Henry would have had an 80-yard touchdown if Damar Hamlin didn't get a shoelace tackle on him. That would have flipped the whole game.
now the Bills will face the Patriots week 5. Um, I think the Patriots will be the second best team in the AFC East. I'm not sold on the Jets. We don't know if Tyreek Hill will be on the Dolphins. Um, I think that's. I think the Patriots. That's going to be a good game.
The Patriots, the thing about the Patriots is Mike, like it's a new coach, it's a new era of the Patriots, say. It's Drake May and everything. That's all fine. That's all fine and dandy. Drake May will never be as good as Josh Allen. But what actually scares me is that defensive back room. They have great outside corners in Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis coming over from the Bucks, who is a savvy vet, a little bit of an overpay, but when you're a bad team, hey, you got to overpay to get good players. Then they have Jones in the slot, who is a above average slot corner. And then for safeties, they have Jabril Peppers and what's the other guy's name? Jabril Peppers and he went to D2 college. I don't even know the other safety. But that is a very good defensive back room, arguably the best in the NFL.
Week 9, they face the Chiefs, which we know we own the Chiefs in the regular season. Uh, but look, again, I feel like the Bills have gotten a lot better. I feel like the Chiefs have gotten worse. And
I want to lose this game. I want to
I,
lose.
I would rather have Josh Allen not play, to be honest with you.
Yeah, cool. Sit him. Let's lose. Let's put in Mitch Trubisky and have him throw like 18. Let's have him have a Peterman game. Let's bring Peterman back. Put him in for that game. Just we lose.
Yeah,
We don't
exactly.
show the Chiefs anything because we always show the Chiefs our hand way too early. And the four times we've beat him in the past four regular seasons, we've beat him by two scores, two of those times. And then both those times, what happens in the playoffs? Dang it. One more play and we beat him.
And then we played the Texans.
Wait. One more thing about the Chiefs game. The Chiefs that week, they're coming off a bye week. Andy Reid off a bye week is 12-4 in his career. That's a tough spot for the Bills to be in.
Yes. We played the Texans week 12 on a Thursday night. Look, we know the Bills schedule. Their road games are not that strong. All of our top games are at home. Philly, Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals. We know who
Bucks.
they are. You can even add the Bucks in there too. Um, but go on the road. That's a tough game, and we did lose to them last year. Now, do I think the Bills are better than the Texans? Yes, but on a short week, I think that's a tough game.
I agree. It's definitely a tough game. And last year in week four, that was arguably the worst game of Josh Allen's career. He had a
It was
30%
week 5
completion
last week,
percentage.
last year.
He was missing Kincaid every throw, and he didn't have a security blanket in Shakir. We looked terrible. That was a horrible game. Mac Hollins dropped or a touchdown too. They're just a tough test with those corners and those safeties. The Texans have a great roster, and then those edge rushers and Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. It's a tough test.
And then we played the Bengals December 7th, week 14. Look, we always struggle with Joe Burrow. You know, the guy can slice and dice, but uh, I think our defense has gotten worse. The Bengals defense has gotten worse. Um, and the Bengals, do they have more motivation for that game? They might be battling for a playoff spot. I mean, I think we can agree that the AFC might be wrapped up at that point.
I think it just maybe the matchup that I'm very excited for that game to see is I think Brandon Bean, he's really, really thinking about all these teams that have two dominant receivers, the Eagles, the Bengals, the Rams, a bunch of other teams, the Vikings. And I think he drafted Maxwell Harrison to fit this mold of a guy who can go with speedy guys while Benford deals with the more dominant receiver per se. Now, in this Bengals game, I think it'll be the speedier Hairston on Jamar Chase, while T. Higgins is dealt with Benford. So I think the Bills are really equipping themselves and looking at those other AFC teams and those dominant receivers and kind of preparing for it just by getting a player like Maxwell Harrison in the building.
Okay, and then week 17, we face the defending champion Eagles. Uh, you you know that could be a Super Bowl preview. Um, I'm interested in seeing the Bills run game. No, the Bills defensive run game.
It's going to be a ground and pound game. Week 17 in Buffalo, probably going to be snow. I would like if there's a lot, even though Saquon is a pretty dang good snow running back. I like to say ours, James Cook, is also pretty good.
Yeah, no. And we know the Eagles have a good defensive line. We know they have good O line, so that's going to be a tough matchup. Good thing it is in Buffalo, but both teams could be resting players, getting ready for the playoffs.
Oh, I don't. When was the last time you saw a team rest in week 17?
I mean, no, I think the stars will be out there, but I'm just saying you could see guys.
I think both those teams will look at that game and they'll be like, "This is why we play football. This is why Sundays are. This is what we live for on Sundays. We don't live to watch freaking Raiders versus the Broncos every Sunday at 4:25. They literally play every Sunday at 4:25. You can't convince me otherwise. We live for these type of games. Eagles, Bills, best on best. Bring your lunch pal to work. See you in Buffalo. It's gonna be cold."
It is. And obviously, we end the season saying goodbye to Highmark Stadium. Uh,
Not, oh, well, we're playing there in the playoffs.
well, I know I get the playoffs, but last regular season game,
That'll be a sad game that I'm sure both of us will be at.
I'll be crying. I'll be there.
Might bring a wrench and undo my seat and take it home with me.
I'll take the whole bench.
Take everything.
Exactly. No, I mean it's versus the Jets. Do you think Josh Allen will play that game?
No. First, he'll play one drive. He loves his knock on wood. He has a very good Iron Man streak right now, longest running in the NFL. That's why you saw him week one or week 18 last year go in for a snap, hand off the ball, and run off the field. So I think Josh Allen plays every game. I think by then we'll have the division wrapped up. I think Josh will hand off the ball to Ray Davis and then he'll jog on off the field and high five Mitch Trubisky as he goes in to just have an abysmal game.
Okay. Well, early predictions.
Should we go game by game?
Sure, it has to be quick. Quick.
All right.
Uh,
Ravens loss 0-1. You
Jets.
agree? Jets win. I think we win.
All right, 1-1. I agree. Dolphins
Win.
win 2-1. Saints
Win. Easy.
3-1. Patriots
We clown them. We absolutely clown them.
4-1. Uh,
Falcons
oh,
win.
away against the Falcons Monday night
W.
5-1. I agree.
Panthers,
By week 7. Uh, Away versus Panthers,
Sean McDermott is 8-0 off a bye.
6-1. Uh, Home versus Chiefs.
Please lose. I want to lose. Can we just make sure we lose this game? Let's go to this game and let's do whatever we can to lose this game
All right,
just to beat them when it matters.
I'm 7-1. You're 6-2.
We'll stay with yours. I'm an optimist. We want to win this
All
game.
right,
We want to
seven
win
and
every
one.
game.
Away versus the Dolphins.
We clown the Dolphins. Wait. Okay. Quick point. Are we overthinking the fact that we just always kill the Dolphins and we could be due for a letdown loss? Because division
No,
games are always
no,
hard.
no. We Josh Allen owns the Dolphins.
Josh Allen owns Dolphins. Okay, move on.
Home versus Buccaneers.
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna give that. I think there's always a loss that's always surprising. I'm gonna give that a loss.
I'll agree with that. I think there's definitely a second loss in there somewhere.
No, you know what? Switch it. We beat the Bucks. We lose to the Texans.
Oh yeah, off short week. Yeah, I got you with that one. That's a smart one. Good call.
Um, Steelers. We don't know who's the quarterback. Let's just say let's just go with Rodgers.
Bills by a
When
million. The
when
dude can't move. He has a 1-by-1 square, and that's the only place he can move.
uh home versus the Bengals.
We
That
don't play him very well.
that's a loss.
We
I'm
we
putting that as
never
a
played the
loss.
Bengals well. I'll take that loss as well.
Home versus Patriots. Win.
Browns,
Win against the Browns.
Eagles coming to Buffalo. I think we're in Josh Allen legacy snow game territory here.
We're Eagles, baby.
Let's beat the Eagles. We
We're beating
got
the
this.
Eagles.
And then week 18,
Loss.
sure, loss. All right,
They're,
13-4
they're
again.
13-4. We're 13-4. The Bills are going 13-4.
And I think the one seed has to be on the forefront of our minds because you see every year, time and time again, the team that gets the bye and is healthier because of the rest goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Last year, it was the Chiefs and Eagles off the rest. The year before, it was the 49ers off the rest. The Chiefs upset the Ravens. Then the year before, it was the Eagles and Chiefs both off the rest. It's rest versus rust. Not really, but that rest, that bye week. I mean, one of the two one seeds from the conference championship or from the NFC or AFC, one of those one seeds almost always makes it to the Super Bowl, it seems like now in our
Yeah, I think the one
team and
seed is
playoff
very.
era.
I think the one seed is very important. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. We didn't get to every game, but you know what? We got to the big ones. Uh, hey, it's here. Go check out NFL.com or ESPN. Check out the schedules. Billy, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.